Welcome to India Inside, the GCC Advantage. We are the CoreBridge GCC Desk, and our mission is to cut through the complexity and help global and Indian leaders really understand India's immense potential as the world's foremost global capability center hub.
And today we're focusing on the governmental engines that are really fueling this growth. We're trying to move beyond just the simple metrics of cost and talent.
Right.
And dig into the specific policy environment that turns a strategic idea into, long-term scalable execution.
That's it, exactly. This is episode 12. India's policy momentum for global investors. We're talking about a decade of policy transformation that has delivered not just foundational stability, but I think strategic, accelerated scalability for global investors.
Especially for those Fortune 1000 companies.
Yes, the ones who are evaluating where to commit their next big waves of capital.
The environment is just changing so fast. For any CXO listening, policy is no longer some item on a checklist. It is the competitive differentiator. It determines your speed to market and, crucially, your long-term risk mitigation.
Absolutely. So before we unpack this entire policy stack, just a quick, simple request.
Yes.
Please follow this show. It really helps us bring these conversations to you.
Okay, so let's start at the top, shall we? The foundational shift at the national level over the last, say, 10 years has been, it's been philosophical.
How so?
It's about moving away from that old model of regulatory control, that infamous red tape, to fundamentally enabling global capital to operate efficiently.
And we've seen genuine institutional momentum behind that intent.
We have. And the metrics, they confirm that momentum.
If you look at the ease of doing business reforms, the time required for a new corporate setup, it stood at a prohibitive 127 days back in 2014.
Just think about that, 127 days. And now
it's consistently under 30 days.
And what's fascinating is how that was achieved. This wasn't just some policy diktat from on high.
No.
It was a direct result of digitizing and centralizing the whole process under frameworks like the SPICE application. They essentially tore down these redundant multi-departmental clearance layers,
making it one consolidated, visible process.
Exactly. They fixed the plumbing, so to speak.
And it goes beyond just corporate filings. The government has injected serious industrial commitment through the production-linked incentive schemes, the PLI schemes.
We're talking about over $25 billion committed
to sectors like electronics, pharma, semiconductors.
And while these are industrial incentives, the synergy for GCCs is crucial. You see, these schemes mandate domestic value addition,
which creates deep, specialized supplier ecosystem.
Precisely. And that naturally expands the talent pool in advanced R&D and digital manufacturing, making the whole environment richer for the GCCs who need that very specific talent.
You can't talk about India's foundation without its digital public infrastructure, the DPIs.
Of course. We're talking Aadhaar for authentication, UPI for payments,
DigiLocker for document verification, and now the Open Network for Digital Commerce, ONDC.
And for a CXO, the value isn't just the technology itself, it's how it eliminates operational headaches.
Right.
These DPIs create a secure, incredibly low-cost digital layer that GCCs can leverage instantly. Think about compliance, vendor onboarding. All that operational friction just melts away.
So that shift from being just a cost destination to a policy-driven growth story is absolutely vital. But the national framework, that provides the stability. The real action often happens. It happens on the ground.
This is where competitive federalism comes into play. It's the critical second layer of India's policy success.
States aren't just passively waiting for investment anymore.
Not at all. They are aggressively competing with tailored, bespoke policies designed specifically for the needs of global capability centers. And we have two incredible examples setting the benchmark right now.
Let's start with Gujarat. They so often set the pace. Their GCC policy for 2025-2030 is incredibly specific.
It really is. It targets 250 GCCs and 50,000 high-value jobs.
What stands out to me is the mix of CapEx and OpEx support.
Exactly. They're offering CapEx reimbursements up to 25%, which is significant, but also crucial OpEx subsidies for digital essentials like cloud and bandwidth.
Plus payroll assistance, and they even explicitly offer patent support for R&D.
Yes, and their geography is hyper-strategic. They're integrating the financial services hub of Gift City with zones like Dolores SAR. It's a very intentional, future-focused approach.
But Gujarat is facing some stiff competition now.
It is. Madhya Pradesh, or MP, is rapidly emerging as a new contender, especially in central India.
Right. MP's pitch is all about affordability and decentralization, isn't it? Targeting those Tier 2 cities like Indore, Bhopal, and Jabalpur.
It is. Their incentives are strong, significant CapEx grants, but the headline number, the one that really moves the needle for a new entrant, is that payroll subsidy.
50% in year one.
50%. That's a massive number. But if I'm a CXO, I have to ask, is that level of heavy subsidy sustainable?
That's a fair question. What's MP's differentiator beyond just the money?
Their key play is engagement simplification. They're really emphasizing their single window clearance system.
To cut the red tape the national reforms didn't quite eliminate at the state level.
Precisely. And they're also aligning policy with global values, like rewarding GCCs for green building certifications. It's about being a cleaner and just an easier place to operate.
So you have national stability, you have these competitive state incentives. What does this all mean for the CXO who's making a location decision?
Well, global companies typically evaluate operations on three key dimensions: talent, infrastructure, and policy.
And that policy piece means stability, predictability, and of course, fiscal advantage.
And India's policy momentum is addressing all three at once. The clarity on tax and FDI creates confidence for long-term capital deployment.
And those targeted incentives, they directly translate into risk mitigation. We're seeing them reduce initial setup costs by, what, 20 to 30%?
At least. And in our CoreBridge GCC Desk's 2024 Investor Readiness Report, we found something quite striking.
Which was?
That the presence of these sophisticated policy frameworks in states like Gujarat and MP is directly cutting setup times and operational risk for new GCCs by nearly 40%.
40%. That's the real insight. Policy has become quantifiable efficiency.
Which brings us to a great real-world case study. Let's look at a firm we'll call FinTech Europa, a leading European financial technology company.
Okay.
They were looking to decentralize their product engineering and high-end compliance functions. Their shortlist included Singapore, Poland, and India.
And they chose Gujarat's Gift City in 2022. It must have been more than just a cost play.
Oh, it absolutely was. The policy advantage was undeniable. The GCC-specific incentives immediately reduced their early-stage CapEx by a significant $2 million.
And crucially, that $2 million wasn't just pocketed.
Exactly. FinTech Europa immediately reinvested that saving from upfront CapEx into hiring 50 advanced AI engineers for their risk modeling team.
So they turned a cost saving into an immediate capability enhancement.
Yes. And beyond that, Gift City's SEZ framework gave them the regulatory clarity they needed for cross-border compliance.
So what was the outcome by 2024?
By 2024, they had scaled to 600 engineers. They'd filed 2 fintech patents under the state's support program.
Wow.
And achieved a remarkable 35% lower total operating cost compared to their Singapore base. The lesson is just crystal clear. These policies translate directly into measurable investor ROI.
That really shows how state policies are moving the decision away from pure cost arbitrage towards strategic, supported capability creation. But it's not stopping at just fiscal incentives, is it?
No, modern investors demand a more holistic experience. Speed of approvals, a guaranteed talent pipeline.
And we're seeing major steps in digital governance to meet that.
We are. Gujarat and MP have implemented these e-clearance systems with transparent timelines. Investors can track their applications in real time on a dashboard.
That visibility alone must dramatically mitigate bureaucratic risk.
It does. And policies are now actively integrating skill development, which addresses the #1 long-term concern for any CXO talent.
Scalability and retention.
It's just smart policy design. Gujarat reimburses up to 50% of internship costs. MP funds on-the-job training for new recruits.
So it ties the fiscal benefits directly to building the local talent pipeline.
And it makes the incentives performance-linked. Our research shows that linking skilling with these incentives delivers much higher long-term GCC retention rates.
We're also seeing policy linked to global ESG commitments.
Right. States offering specific incentives for green certified campuses and providing co-investment grants for centers of excellence in AI, fintech, and automation.
So it directly aligns the state's economic goals with the firm's global innovation and sustainability targets.
It really shows ecosystem maturity. And this is all reflected in the CoreBridge GCC Desk's India Policy Readiness Map.
Right, our map shows this differentiation very clearly.
It does. Gujarat is rated highest for execution speed and fiscal predictability. Madhya Pradesh is emerging as the most cost-efficient environment for new GCCs in central India.
While states like Telangana and Tamil Nadu continue to lead specifically in R&D and deep tech policy.
And the key insight for any CXO is this. Policy depth equals investment speed. The more targeted and transparent the policy, the faster you can get up and running.
So you have to look beyond the headline subsidy number.
You do. You have to focus on the speed of clearance and the longevity of that policy commitment. And that's why this narrative of reform credibility and policy continuity is resonating so much globally right now.
And beyond the specific incentives, there's just the macroeconomic stability. India's GDP growth remains consistent, around 6.5% annually.
That stability, plus its geoeconomic positioning, offers both scale and, a safe harbor amid all the global supply chain realignments we're seeing.
You see that confidence reflected in the market. Global giants like Walmart, Siemens, JP Morgan, they've all scaled their Indian GCCs significantly.
And they explicitly cite policy stability as the key enabler for those massive multi-year commitments.
But we have to be realistic. Challenges do still exist. The intent is strong, but CXOs do still face some hurdles.
Absolutely. The policy awareness gap is a real thing. Many global firms are simply unaware of the depth of incentives available outside the traditional hubs like Bangalore.
And there's still some implementation variation, right?
Yes, across different departments. A single window system might be mandated, but the consistency of execution can still vary on the ground.
And of course, sustained infrastructure investment is critical, especially in those ambitious Tier 2 cities.
The hardware has to keep pace with the policy promises, but despite those hurdles, the ecosystem is clearly moving from simple incentive-driven attraction
to outcome-driven acceleration.
Exactly. The road ahead is about greater policy harmonization across states and leveraging AI-driven systems to iron out those last few implementation wrinkles.
And that really is the core takeaway. Policy is India's competitive advantage now. It's a combination of national reform with this agile, responsive, state-level innovation.
It's positioning the government as a crucial partner in creating capability, not just a regulator on the sidelines. For global enterprises, the environment is truly set for both efficiency and innovation.
We invite you to bridge your own strategy and execution by exploring the CoreBridge curated resources and policy insights that we've linked in the description. It will really help you translate this policy opportunity into scalable capability.
And if you're a CXO evaluating India's potential for your next capability center, please connect with the CoreBridge GCC Desk. We specialize in policy navigation and incentive optimization to make sure your strategy is built with confidence.
And as always, please follow this show. It really does help. Next time, we're going to look at whether India's Tier 2 cities are indeed the next billion-dollar GCC corridors and the specific ROI of decentralization.
Just a quick note. This discussion synthesized publicly available policy information, verified industry data, and our own CoreBridge GCC Desk research. But you should always confirm the latest details with official government sources.
Thank you for joining us on India Inside, the GCC Advantage.